5 divers swept away at lightning speed inside a 30-inch wide oil pipe under the sea. What happened to them next? Only one returned to tell the chilling story. And guess what? A GoPro camera recorded the entire moment of this terrifying accident. This is not a story from my imagination. Every detail in this video is backed by real sources, linked in the description below. Stay with me as we uncover one of the most horrifying diving disasters ever recorded. February 25th, 2022. A routine repair job turned into a nightmare. 5 employees of LMCS, an underwater construction company, were assigned to work on an old pipeline beneath the ocean. Their names: Faisal Kurban, Kazim Ali Jr., Rishi Nagasar, Usuf Henry, and Christopher Boutram. Their task? Repairing a 30-inch wide pipeline that lay under the sea, running from berth 5 to berth 6 on the north coast of South America. But little did they know, they were about to face their worst nightmare. This was no ordinary pipeline. It was shaped like the letter U, stretching beneath the seabed. Its job? Transporting crude oil. But before repairs could begin, the workers needed to push out seawater from inside the pipeline. How? Using a massive hyperbaric chamber, an 8-foot by 8-foot metal cube that created an air-sealed working space. Sounds safe, right? Think again, because lurking inside this pipeline was an invisible force waiting to strike. The workers had done this procedure countless times before, but on that fateful day, a simple mistake triggered one of the most horrifying industrial accidents ever recorded. The divers were assigned to remove an inflatable plug, an airtight seal blocking crude oil from leaking. To do this, Kazim Ali Jr., positioned above, passed a wrench to his colleagues inside the pipeline. Simple enough, until they turned the wrench. In an instant, all hell broke loose. The moment the plug loosened, an unseen force, stronger than a hurricane, sucked everything inside the pipe. A violent tornado of water, air, and debris spiraled downwards at unimaginable speed. Before anyone could react, they were yanked into the abyss. Imagine being pulled into a narrow, pitch-black tunnel at breakneck speed, unable to stop, unable to scream. That's exactly what happened. The GoPro footage captured it all. The first few seconds showed bubbles, debris, and flailing limbs. Then darkness. The men screamed, calling each other's names, trying to make sense of the horror. But what came next was even more terrifying. As the water tornado settled, they found themselves scattered inside the massive pipeline. No light, no way to know where they were, just a suffocating silence, and the distant echoes of terrified breathing. But fate hadn't abandoned them entirely. In some parts of the pipeline, tiny air pockets had formed, giving them a sliver of hope. They clung to these air pockets, gasping for oxygen. Their bodies ached, battered by the sheer force of the water. Crude oil burned their eyes and skin. Yet, in the face of death, they did what humans do best: fight to survive. Chris, the most experienced diver among them, realized something. If they were sucked in headfirst, the only way out was backward. But moving through an oil-coated pipe, blind and injured, was like crawling through a nightmare. They decided to form a human chain, using their legs to push against each other. One painful inch at a time, they struggled to move toward the entrance, but after hours of effort, they had barely moved. And then the worst happened. The water level was rising, fast. If they didn't escape soon, the very air pockets keeping them alive would become their watery graves. Their strength was fading. Panic set in. Then, silence. One by one, their voices disappeared. Only one man would make it out alive. But how? After endless hours of struggle, a lone figure emerged from the pipeline. a single survivor, gasping for breath. That man was Kazim Ali Jr. He was found at the pipeline entrance, barely alive, but alive nonetheless. But the horror wasn't over. Authorities launched a frantic rescue mission for the others, but what they found was devastating. The remaining 4 divers never made it. Trapped in the darkness, their air pockets had run out. Their bodies were recovered later, still inside the pipeline, victims of one of the most nightmarish accidents in history. The incident sent shockwaves across the world. How could such a disaster happen? Investigations revealed shocking details, negligence, miscalculations, and a lack of emergency preparedness. Families of the victims demanded justice, calling for stricter safety measures. The pipeline was eventually shut down, but for the families, no amount of justice could bring back their loved ones. And Kazim? He lives on, haunted by the memory of that day. The screams of his friends still echo in his mind. So, what can we learn from this tragedy? Life is fragile. Even the most experienced professionals can fall victim to the unexpected. But more than that, this story is a testament to human resilience, the will to fight against impossible odds. Kazim survived the impossible, but at a great cost. If you found this story gripping, make sure to like and subscribe for more mysterious and true stories from around the world. And remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that actually happened. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.